What happened?
We're live.
You're on your own, mate. Hey, hello everybody. This is the Rob and Steve show. What are you all doing here?
Hello.
Could you have picked a worse photograph for the entrance?
Chins.
Chins. Chinny chin chin. Anyway, Steve, take it away, mate.
Hello, everybody. Yes, you're all very welcome. A bit of a weird start to the show this evening because everything just seems slow. With the old, I don't know whether it's yard stream that's slow or whether it's my internets or what, but everything's just a bit taking forever to do. You click a button and then it's like a second before stuff happens. So I don't know what's happening. But anyway, you're all very welcome. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Steve. Long time no see.
My finger disappears. Look. Yes. Welcome to another Rob and Steve show. It's Wednesday evening again. It is the 3rd of February, and it is the month.
It's the third show as well.
And it's the month of love. So they say. Not that I'd know anything about that anymore.
More like the month of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, well, my Groundhog Day is changing. We'll get to that in a little bit. So we've got a few people. Let me do a quick shout out of a few people. Just before we do start, I do want to remind people that YouTube is still having difficulties with their live chats for some reason. And 1 second, Robbie, shut the door. Get out, please. No, go on, please. Thank you.
But I'm not there, Steve. I'm here.
Children. Yes, YouTube is playing up. It's a bit skewy with the chat. So what I will do, if there's any comments there that are to do with the show, if you're all chatting to each other, I won't put them up. But I can throw the chat up on the screen like so. Yo, yo, or is that a bad phrase? Cheers, Double D. So let's say hello to a few folks. We've got Tommy Dunn. Hi, Tommy Dunn. Mike Yu. Double D. Tommy. Rob and Steve's out there. We have Robert Dubba Dubba Dub. We've got John S. Robert Dolman. John S. I think I said him. I love wood turning. Adam. Steve Coombs. Rob's seen something that's tickling his fanny. Richard.
We look like we're the big chair, little chair again.
What the fuck? That's always a... Oh yeah, that's Leona. Hi, Leona.
Your little chair is down there.
Woody Dudism. He's having a dudism tonight. Debbie. Wood dude. And anybody else that's out there. Yes, I don't know what I've done with my camera. I've set it up a bit ski with. I can move myself up here, but then my body disappears. Look. Bye. But
like
yes. Oh, there's a blast from the past.
Yeah, so, that was their special effects back in the day.
What you been doing, Rob?
I've been quite busy, Steve. I'm preparing for a live demonstration coming up. I think it's next week, the 11th, whenever that is. It's coming up soon. For the wood show. I think you're going to put a link in the description, right?
Yes, I will.
So I've been getting ready for that. What else am I doing? I put a shelf up today because I just bought some nebula. What are they? Pigments for casting with the nebula look, the Northern Lights, which should be good. There was a lot of colors there too, so I put a little shelf up over there. Trying to organize because my shop is, well, I showed Steve my shop yesterday, and there's stuff everywhere, right?
It's
disgraceful.
shocking bad. Shocking bad.
It is.
It's not very Rob.
It is shocking. It's pretty bad, but it takes time to organize.
But
so yeah, I've been doing that.
I was just going to jump in on the note of dirty shops. Like, is it just me that needs to use every tool that's in there, and then it never goes back? Like, whatever happens, even if you're doing the smallest of jobs, you always end up with every single tool on the workbench. And every.
Why did I just get further away?
What?
Why did I just get further away from the camera?
Oh, come here. Give me a hand. Give me a hand. Give me a
hand.
What
happened?
Pass me a hand.
I was a lot closer a minute ago.
Give me a hand here. Here, I'll pull you closer. Give me. There you go. There you go.
Oh, you did that. You brat.
I wanted to see around your workshop to see how bad it was.
I can show you.
No, we don't want to see that. God, no. I needed therapy last night. What have I been doing? I've been really busy. I've got to get ready for going back to work. I'm going back to work next Thursday, so a week tomorrow. I'm back to work. The school's reopening, and we're getting 50% of the kids back into the school. So we don't know what kids are coming in yet, but all hands on deck, back to work. It's good. It'd be good to be getting back into some kind of routine because my head's done in, man. My head is done in with everything, schoolwork and house stuff and the normal stuff, and you can't go anywhere, and just Groundhog Day, as you said.
Well, I actually watched Groundhog Day yesterday, and pretty much sums my life up right now. Get up, do the same thing every day. Sonny and Cher on the radio, and it's cold outside.
Was the movie the same as the last time you watched it?
It was exactly the same, to the T. To the T.
Right, so we've got a couple more people join. I want to say hello to Joseph and Lenny joined. I think there's a couple more that I missed, but anyway. Yes, hello to everybody. Right, should we do the first thing?
Do the first thing, Steve.
Let's do the first thing. Let's do Rob's wood to start with tonight. Let's do that.
My wood?
Yeah, Rob's wood.
Okay. It's you. You see, you didn't shrink me. Shrink me. There you go.
I've shrunk you. Stop panicking.
Thank you. Okay, so wood of the week this week.
Yes. Now I'm going to bring you back. There you go.
It's all about you, Steve.
I've got it all under control. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This week it's all about you. There you
now,
go.
if I remember correctly, you just received some you in a box.
I did. I got some from Miss Leona Fay. She sent me a box full of you and other bits and pieces.
It's very, very generous because you use beautiful wood.
Yeah. And
so we're going to talk about it just a little bit. You did what? Oh yeah, you did. I saw it last night.
I burnt it last night. And there was a couple of people that I showed went, "Why are you burning you? You don't burn you." I said, "Well, I did." So there, and it looks okay. So yeah.
I guess you can do what you want with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's your you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you. Who out there doesn't know anything about you? Anybody? We're going to talk about it a little bit. We Googled it and everything.
He only
She's
says,
not gonna,
"Woohoo! It's the
she's not going to
best
send you
wood
anymore.
ever."
It is not necessarily the best wood. It's one of the best woods on the local cheap side. Anyway, let's talk about yew. So yew is considered poisonous to humans. So definitely wear your respiratory kind of say it. PPE. Wear your PPE.
Yeah, do
Some
do
people
that.
have allergic reactions, respiratory or on their skin or in their eyes. It's not good. The dust is not good. The colors range from yellow, orange, purple, and brown. So it's got some really nice color differentiation. I actually turned a bowl a long time ago out of yew, and I gave it to a buddy of mine, and I wish I hadn't, kind of, sort of, because it had the beautiful color in it. It wasn't necessarily turned very well. I turned it a long time ago, but the colors in the wood was beautiful. Anyway, I gave that to him. It's usually full of knots, so it's hard to get a big piece that doesn't have lots of knots or voids in it, and that's why the price is on the high side, because you can't generally get bigger pieces. But it does glue together nicely, so if you segment it, it will glue together well. What was I going to say here? It's also okay, so it's considered one of the hardest softwoods because the grain is tight together, and it's also extremely flexible without breaking. So that's why back in England in the old days they used it for making archery bows, and because it was very flexible. So that's a little bit about you, Steve.
Yeah, well, I'll read a couple of the bits that I got here out. You have just pretty much clobbered it all, but
Covered
I'll
you.
read this out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Common names: European yew, common yew. Tree sizes: 30 to 65 foot, 10 to 20 meters tall, 3 to 5 feet or 1 to 1.5 meter trunk diameter. The Jenga hardness is 1.520. What is that measurement? LBF, is it?
Okay. So the Jenga hardness is, and I can't remember exactly, I had it down last week. They take a steel ball of a certain size, and they have to apply pressure to it until the ball is halfway into the wood. That pressure is the Jenga hardness.
Right. Okay. So it's how the fibers hold up to pressure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
cool.
We were talking about maple the first week. Hard maple compared to soft maple. Hard maple is twice as hard as soft maple. So and that relates to all woods. There's a hardness scale for all woods, and it's the same test for every piece. And it's that stainless ball or that little metal ball that they push into the fibers. And I forget how big it is offhand. I'd have to look it up again. It was like a quarter of an inch that steel ball that they push in. So
we've said about the allergies. The common reactions to it would be eye, skin, and respiratory irritation, as you said. And someone said to me once, I don't know how true it is, like I turned it last night and I got no reaction to it. So it's a bit of maybe an itchy nose, but that's about it, only tiny. But I always do when I'm turning anyway. But someone said to me that a lot of the lower end respirators don't filter the dust from it. It still gets through the lower end respirators, the budget respirators. So you just got to be careful with those. Don't use those.
Yeah. Respirators. That's a big topic. That respirators.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll have to
there's a lot out there. A lot of different things out there.
Have to cover that one for sure. Nearly all parts of the yew tree are considered toxic. Now, that's one thing I didn't know. I thought it was just the wood itself, and care should be exercised when working with the wood species. So there you go. That's that. And then the other bit you mentioned about the stuff that can be made, bows and stuff like that. This was the piece I made last night. I will say that it burns really well. Not just in the fact that it catches fire.
Do you know why? Because it'll have a lot of oils in it, the sap, because it's a softwood. so it will have a lot of sap in it that will burn for sure.
But it also is like oak as well. Whereas when you wire brush it, it really you can really drag the grain out, which is cool. That's why it got a really good effect on that. So yeah, it came out really well. I will be burning more, unfortunately. Leona won't like that, but I will be burning more. Are you still liking your air shield, Rob?
Who's asking that?
Leona.
Okay, Leona. So yeah, we can talk about what do you call it? Masks, because there's so many on the market. Now, I bought the Air Shield Pro mainly because a lot of the smaller things, I don't like wearing them because they're, I don't know, I just find them uncomfortable, and I still got to put a face shield on as well as the respirator, which was a pain in the neck. So this one, I like wearing it. I like the fact that it's blowing cool air down over my face, and it blows out of the holes. So none of the dust is getting into my face at all. None of it. You have to charge the battery. It takes overnight to charge, and it's good for about 8 hours. So far, it's been good that way. The only thing I find is it is slightly on the heavy side. I'm not heavy, not too heavy, but it's heavier than just a regular face shield. Obviously, it's going to be, right? So it can be a little bit of a strain on the back of the neck if you're looking down a lot. If you're looking straight ahead, you're fine. But if you start looking down, the weight's pushing down. So that's the only thing that I would say, is that it does have a little bit of weight to it. So, but other than that, I love it.
Your head looks huge when you're wearing it. Mine looks perfect, but your head looks huge. I've got the exact same one as yours. I've got the exact same one as yours, and I like it as well. I really do like mine.
What have you got?
The Air Shield Pro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can say.
I was
you can say what you think about it too, then.
Yeah, well, mine was gifted to me, so I didn't have to pay for it. I know they are quite expensive to buy.
They are. I paid over $600. So yeah, they're not cheap, but they're nice. I like them. I should probably clean the filters out more than I do. Just take them out and blow them outside, get the dust off of them. But yeah, it's a good unit.
I don't. Oh, I have the JV. Yeah, okay, I have the JPS. Okay, but it's the rip-off of the Air Shield Pro. Basically, they're the same. I felt both of them. I was actually at Mike Waltz, and I felt his, and compared to mine, and they're pretty much as in his Air Shield.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what, I did try on once, and that is, what's the other one that you stick the hose in the back of it?
I'm not sure. I've seen that.
Oh, that is horrible thing to wear.
Is it with a backpack?
Yeah, it's just it's just more weight on you when you're trying to move and turn. You just feel overpowered with all the equipment you've got on. It feels like you're about to go scuba diving.
Really? Who's that woman that has one? I can't think of her name.
Woman,
a lady. I can't think what her name is. On the wall behind her, she's got all those little birds. Cripes, I can't think of her name.
Mary Poppins?
No, anyway, there's a woman that I watch on YouTube. She has one, and it looks quite the setup. Yeah, with the tubes and everything. She looks like something out of Predator or something.
Oh, I know who you. Ashley Harwood.
Ashley Harwood. Yeah, Ashley Harwood.
Yes, she does. She has one of those. They just seem very cumbersome.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's them. Yeah. I mean, masks in general, they're not nice to wear anyway when you're in a warm workshop or you've got, and especially if a lot of people wear the face mask with the face shield over the top of them. I find that really uncomfortable too, because the face shield's banging off the thing and it's clickety clackety, and it's just every time you move, it's twisted. It twists the your face shield on your head, so as you turn, it gets caught, and it's just it is annoying, but it is.
I mean, I could grab. I've got a whole bunch of different ones that I've bought and tried. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 right here.
Yeah.
Shall I grab them?
Yeah, you can grab the mask too if you want.
Let me grab them real quick.
He's took the headset off now. What should we say about him? Hi, Eva. You're very welcome. Hi, Ian. I don't think I said hello to you. Hi, how are you, Ian?
Kind of an unplanned thing here, but
When are we ever
Mark,
planned?
can you still hear me, Steve?
Yeah.
That's okay. So I find a lot of it is marketing with a lot of things, like this right here. What is it? The RZ mask. The RZ mask. I bought that. Full on marketing. Absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. So I didn't wear it a whole lot. Some people like it. I don't know. I saw a lot of people wearing it when they first came out, but now I don't see anybody wearing it. That was the RZ. So I bought that. Don't use it. I bought this because it's small and I don't mind it. But the problem is with it laying around, it gets filthy inside. So when I put it on, I'm breathing in the dust. Like, it's full of dust. So really, you got to store it somewhere in a bag, somewhere out of the dust. So that's a good idea. If you're going to wear something like this, keep it in a bag so that it doesn't get full of dust like mine does.
Or in a cupboard that's full of crap that you don't use.
Yeah. Now, I got a cousin that lives up just north of Toronto, and he gave me this. Now, this is a pretty decent unit. It's a 3M with the filters and the face shield. But what I don't like about it are the straps. It's uncomfortable. And also, it's not head protection. So I can't wear this as head protection. Face shield, yes, but not head protection. That's the only thing I don't like about that. But other than that, it's a pretty decent unit. That's the 3M. And then moving on real quick, we'll go to the Air Shield Pro. So the Air Shield Pro, you've got the on-off right here at the back and the charging unit. And in the top, you'll see how dirty my filters are now.
Such a dirty boy, Rob.
So these are the filters.
So now you've just breathed all that in. Well done.
Yeah. the pump or the blower's right here, and it blows air down here over my face, and it exits through these holes at the bottom here. So I almost need to wear it right now. So that goes on, and you can also tilt. It tilts up. I'll take these off and I'll show you. So yeah, it tilts up like that, and then that's it. And away you go.
Lovely. Ground control to Major Rob.
That one is, and because I know I spent a lot of money on it, maybe I'm biased, but I do like it. So I would advise everybody wear lung protection, respiratory protection of some sort. Steve, are you still there?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I was just listening to Eva singing Spaceman. Always wanted you to go into space, man. Yeah. So I actually, interesting story. I got sent an RZ mask because.
How do you like it?
I don't know. Never took it out of the packet. I gave it to someone. didn't like the look of it. Thought, no, it's not the sort of thing I'm going to wear. And I had umpteen masks coming out my ears, so I gave it away. I
think they're about $60 to buy those things, and then you can buy the extra filters and the pieces.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
This one came with a bunch of the mask filters, the really good ones, and I gave them all to the local doctors and nurses last year because of COVID. I had like 50 of them, and they're expensive too. I didn't realize my cousin gave them all to me. I gave them to 2 or 3 different doctors or nurses that were at the hospital, so they went to good use. I hope.
Aren't you lovely?
Well, I don't use them. If somebody else can use them, especially in a situation like that, then I'm more than happy to give them away.
Absolutely.
So,
I was actually sitting down the other day. I have these mad ideas when I'm kind of just coming out of sleep mode in the morning. I kind of get this weird ideas coming in my head. And I thought, wouldn't it be good if someone set up, now it might be already something set up and I just haven't seen it, but wouldn't it be great if something was set up where everyone lists all the tools that they're not ever likely to use, but they've got them, list them all, catalog numbers and everything. And they say, right, that's there. If someone pays shipping, I'll send it to you. Do you know? And if everybody had a list of all them tools where someone's bound to want something that somebody else has got that they don't need anymore, wouldn't it be good to have this big list of tools that you could say, listen, send me that, I'll pay the shipping. That way you're getting a tool that you want and probably a heck of a lot cheaper than buying it and paying the shipping. I don't know. Yes.
I've got a full set of the basic tools. The basic sets you get with the 6 tools in it. Never been used, brand new from the 80s, new old stock, never been used. And I bought them for $60 just because I thought, you know what, for $60 I'll buy them and then I've got them, but I'm never going to use them.
Yeah.
I'd love to give them away, but I want to know for a fact that they're going where they should be going. And that's the one thing.
That's the
thing.
You
hear me?
Yeah, I that is the one thing. And I suppose if you had it in a controlled area where you knew people that were visiting the particular site that you set up were coming and going, you were seeing them wood turning and using the tools, you could just get people coming in, taking the mick, getting the tool and then flogging them on. I hear you. It happens.
Yeah,
there are people that aren't too honest, but hey.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to let it go. On my website, I just did a giveaway, and I just picked a random person that visited my website and purchased last year. Random person, no idea who they were. Picked them, sent it to them, and the same thing. I don't know if they needed it, if they're just gonna return it somewhere that will take it back and he'll pocket the money. It is what it is. Sometimes, I just hope that it helped him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to help people out if you can.
Let's move on. Let's do this.
Yes.
Hold on. I want to make sure that I can do this before I do this.
What are we doing, Steve?
We're gonna do this. We're going to do the random wheel.
Random wheel of convo.
Spin
it, Steve.
My thing's not working, so I don't care. Right, I'm going to spin it. Are you ready?
Go for it, mate.
I don't know why that didn't work. Why is that?
Technical difficulties.
Ah, there you go. We've got to do it properly. The random wheel of convo. I got told to stop doing the stupid voice, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm actually.
Who told you to do that, Steve?
Actually, Double D. I want to talk to you about doing some voiceover clips for me, please. I want a fun American, the Wheel of Fortune, but I want a real American to do it. So I'll be in touch. Or anyone, maybe Hodge or one of those anyway. But anyway, let's do the, oh no, here we go. Are we ready? Let's spin it. Takes, it's so fast, this thing.
It's not moving, Steve.
Why is it not? Why is it not? Hello? Ah, that's because I was, do you know why it wasn't spinning? Because I was clicking on the OBS and not on the actual app. It's all right. You wouldn't understand that, Rob, because it's technical.
I do not. I don't know. Obi-Wan
Here we go.
Kenobi.
Oh.
Toys.
Hey.
Oh, toys.
Toys.
Okay, I've got one.
Toys. Let me go back here.
I've got one. Toys, that could be tools or anything, couldn't it, really? I'm slathering up thinking about toys.
Yeah, it can be, but
well, it's not. It's not. What about bikes?
Yeah, bikes. We all had bikes.
So just recently, I've been having this itch that I want to have the bike I had when I was like 10. And I joined a group on Facebook, actually, that is all about that bike. And it's the Rally Grifter. I had a 1977 Rally Grifter when I was probably 6, 7, 8. No, it would have been a bit older. Maybe 80, somewhere in there. Anyway, I want one. That's all I can tell you. I want one.
They're not the sort of price they used to be.
No, well, I've priced it out. It's about £500, which is a lot of money.
What's that? That's about $800 or $900.
Nearly $1,000. About 800, 900 bucks. But it might just have to happen anyway. Might. So I got a label, actually. A guy sent it to me. It's a label that's congratulations on the purchase of your new Rally Grifter, which is, I remember having that when I was a kid because it was on the handlebars. So
Midnight Joker has actually put mine, the one that I had, up on it. That's what he meant. I had the chopper, with the gear stick in the gear selector down in the middle.
If you look on Facebook, there's a group which is grifters and choppers together, and it's a pretty cool group of guys. And a lot of people buy them and they fix them up and they do amazing work. I'm in talks with a guy that's got a red Mark 1 1977 Rally Grifter, and I want it. Gotta have it.
Yeah, but you're going to look ridiculous sitting on that bike now, Rob, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I look ridiculous. I looked ridiculous when I was 12 because I had the seat way up high when I was 12. I'll be like this with my knees up under my elbows.
I have a story about bikes.
Anyway.
I had a bike. It was a Hawk. What was it? A Hawk Thunderbird, I think it was called. But it was like a bigger version of the Grifter. It was like a bigger, more clumsier version of the Grifter. And did the Grifter have the gear selector on the handlebar, didn't it?
Yeah, it was 3 speeds on the handle.
Yeah. Well, this was similar, and we lived in an area where people like to borrow your bike, let's say. And so my dad, whenever he got bikes for us, he used to turn them upside down, and he used to put 4 hacksaw cuts on the bottom of where the pedals were. You used to have that big chunk of metal where the pedals go through. Right on the bottom of that, he used to cut 4 hacksaw cuts into that, and then he used to take the gear selector gripper off, and he used to write all our details on a piece of paper, and he'd slide it inside the handlebar, and then he'd pop that gear selector back on. So anyway, I went riding off down the shops to after being beaten up by my brother and told to go and get sweets. So rode off down to the shop and got the sweets and stuff. And I walked out of Henderson's sweet shop. Do you remember Henderson's? Walked out of
Wigmore Lane.
Yeah, walked out of Henderson's and my bike was gone.
Oh, is that Lynham or Lallick?
Yeah, Lynham Road. That was Lynham Road.
Lynham Road.
Yeah. And no bike. I was gutted because not only did that bike mean a lot to me, because my mum and dad wouldn't have had much money at the time, so it would have been hard for them to get that bike for me. But I used to do paper rounds. My mum and dad were agents for paper for the Herald, the Luton Herald, and I used to do 3 of the paper rounds and use my bike to do it. So I went home crying, all upset. My bike had been stolen, and my dad said, "Don't worry, son, we'll find it and we'll get it back. Don't worry." And I said, "Oh, even if we find it, we're not going to get it, blah, blah, blah." But anyway, it was gone for about 3 months. And I was walking back from school one day and I saw my bike. It was a different color. It was blue instead of black. But I saw my bike go flying past me. So I followed him and saw him scoot up and disappear up a driveway not far. It was in Yeovil Road, just up the road from us, and ran home, told Dad. He got in the car, was shot up to the house, and he knocked on the door. He said, "Your son's got my son's bike. I want it back." He said, "I'm not going to say nothing." He said, "I'm going to take the bike, and that's it." And the guy kind of all a hassle. "My son bought that bike fair and square." He said, "Well, it's stolen. I can tell you now it's stolen. It's my son's bike, and I can prove it." He said, "Go on and prove it." So Dad says, "Right, turn it over. There's 4 hacksaw cuts on the bottom." So your man looks at it. It's been sprayed over, but you could see the deep cuts underneath. And he said, "Take off the gripper. All the information's there, my son's name and everything." So he pulls it up, and there it is. The guy didn't have a leg to stand on. He said, "But I've put work into this. I've resprayed it." And I said, "Dad said, I don't give a shit." He said, "I don't care if it's all brand new parts on it. It's my son's bike." And he just ripped it out the guy's hand, put it into the car, and drove off. I was hoping my dad was going to punch him, but he never did. But there you go. So I got my bike back. So always look after your stuff. Hide bits of paper with your name in it.
Well, you know, nowadays they got these little GPS chips that you can put on them.
Yeah, and tasers. Yeah, I know.
Well, a buddy of mine, he races. He's another wood turner, actually. He's an electrician, and he does wood turning and all that. Anyway, he's a racer, and he has these expensive bikes. And he put a GPS chip under the seat of one of his bikes, and it got stolen. And he managed to find it, and similar situation. But he got his bike back, so that's the main thing.
Tommy had a Boxer, which was the one down from the grifter.
That was the small grifter. That was the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a BMX then. I had the silver BMX then later on when they came out. When they
I
were
never
cool.
had a BMX.
I had the chrome BMX with the stunt studs on the back of it and all that. And actually, I used to. There's actually a guy we used to go to school with. There's twins, Tim and Paul Knight, and Tim is still at our age. We're 50 years of age, and that guy is still riding around on the same BMXs that he owned all them years ago, which is pretty damn
Paul
cool.
as well. Paul's got about 10 bikes, but yeah, that's why I want my grifter. Tim had the same grifter that I had. He had a red Mark 1 grifter as well at the same time.
Right.
Paul had a blue one. Tim had a red one like mine, and then I was, you know, when you've peer pressure. You know, I ended up having to get a racer because it was peer pressure at the time. Everybody had to get racers because they were lighter and you could go faster. The tires were skinny, and I smashed that thing the first week I got it.
Yeah, I smashed my racer. I actually got given my racer from my older brother, from Tony, because he didn't use it anymore. And I killed that racer. I was riding up the path with bags of crisps in my mouth, bags of crisps in my hand, riding along the path, and someone reversed out of their driveway, and I banged straight into the side of their car, flew over the top, and that thing was dead. It was no more. The front wheel was just done. All the forks were bent and everything. It was forking bananas, I tell you. So yes, that's toys. Steve. That's bikes. That was cool.
Bikes.
Yes. Wasn't the conversation I was expecting. I was expecting to go back into Tonka toys and stuff like that, but that's interesting how it goes.
You never know where it's going to go, right?
Yeah, we can do it again. Right. Okay. Rob, let's do this.
Yes.
Because I know you're itching to do it and stuff.
Oh yeah. What are we doing, Steve? Jigs and tools. Jig of the week. Let's get jiggy with it.
Cool. Jig of the week is right. Yeah.
All right. So Steve's going to put a couple of links in the description below later.
Well, I'm going to put them up here too.
So that you can make your own. These are the exact plans that I copied. Although I'm going to make a couple of changes. I have to make another one, and I'm going to make a couple of changes because since I made mine, I've now got the Laguna, and it's got an 1 1/4" 8 TPI spindle. So this one won't fit it unless I use the adapter, but I don't want to do that. So anyway, we're talking about the Longworth chuck, which again I copied Stephen OGLES. It's gone all stiff on me.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So anyway, that's weird. It won't move.
You broke it.
I did. I broke it.
Do you know why it won't move? Because you did up that stud. You tightened that up when you were talking to me the other night.
No.
One of them is tightened up and it's locking it.
There it is. There it is. I took one off because the nut fell off. So anyway, that's it. The Longworth chuck. There's another one that has to go in there, but I just dropped it on the floor. These little rubber studs, I suggest you get bigger ones. Steve mentioned the little door stoppers. What are they, about inch and a half by an inch around, something like that? Bigger the better. It doesn't matter if they're a bit bigger, because you're not concentrating on the edge of the piece. You're concentrating on the back, the center of the bottom of the bowl, which would be the mortise or the tenon that you're working on. So yeah, don't use these little nubs.
Explain, in case there's newbies out there watching, what the Longworth is used for, Rob.
So yes, the Longworth chuck. That's true. Let's grab. Hang on, because I've got one right here. Let's take this as an example. Okay, I didn't make this, although I did refine it a little bit. A guy from Lee Valley made this as a demonstration with my piece of wood, and he absolutely hated me for it. This is a this is a piece of wenge, and if you've ever turned wenge, it's extremely hard wood, and it's not the easiest wood to deal with. You have to sharpen your tools a lot when you're using it. It's extremely hard. This is an old piece as well. Look at the grain in that. It's beautiful. This is not finished. This is just turned and sanded at the moment. So when you finish this and you want to get rid of that tenon, that's where I need 3 ends. I need 2 ends. I've only got 3 ends. You need ends. So there it is. It holds it there. There should be another one there. It's missing, but it fell off. You hold it there and you tighten it down, and then you put it on the lathe, on the headstock. You can put tail stock pressure to it if you want, but it just holds it in there nicely, and it centers. It self-centers, and there it is. That's for removing tenons. You can even change a mortise. Let's just look at that for an example. That's a mortise. Let's just say you want to get rid of that sharp edge when you're done. You could do the same thing. You can put that in there. The front of this isn't turned yet, but let's put it in there. Now you can change the foot completely if you want. You can make it a nice smooth transition instead of having that sharp edge. Sometimes when you've got that in the chuck, it might spin a little bit. Sometimes you've probably seen little marks in there that the chuck's made. You can fix all that by using a Longsworth chuck. That's one option. Now let me show you the ugly side.
Oh dear.
So this is homemade completely. I didn't have a faceplate for it, so I highly recommend, if you're going to make this, buy a separate faceplate. They're like $25, and start from there. So use a faceplate. I used this with an extension piece of wood because I use it on my old lathe, which was so close to the motor. The motor was in the way, and these would hit the motor, the back of the nuts, the wing nuts. So that's why I brought it forward a bit. So, but now I've got this lathe, I don't have to worry about that. It's not an issue. But so you want to definitely make sure it's centered as well. So when you build it, you have to make sure that it's centered. So don't just build it, put it on the lathe and expect it to be centered. You might have to refine it, each piece on the lathe as you build it. So I highly recommend going and watch Stephen Ogle's video on how to make that. He did a great job at explaining how to build it.
Links are in the description below.
Yeah. The one thing I'll tell you, though, is you're going to need this jig as well to make it. This is a router Dremel, which is basically for making those curves, those angles for the cuts, for the bolts to go into. Now I've just I've super glued it together. Hang on. There it is. That's freed it up. So this piece slides up and down, and it's got a nail in it there, which is glued in. And it's going to give you your distance from the pinpoint center to the center of the router to make your circumference. So there's a bunch of measuring to do there to make that work for you, but you can make massive radiuses. You can even use it to make the circle in the first place, just by going around in the center of a piece of wood, piece of plywood, make the center mark, and then you can router that entire piece out. Failing that, you can do it on the bandsaw, put it on the lathe, and then clean it up on the lathe. So there's a few options there, but that's a nice jig to make, relatively easy. And that's it. You can see the pin there that is the center mark.
So I think Eva's just a little bit confused as to what that jig does. Eva, that last jig that Rob was showing you, it doesn't actually go on the lathe. It's
no, this doesn't go on the lathe. The router sits on here. It mounts. I can't even speak today. The router mounts on here. The router bit goes through there on the plywood, and then you can cut your marks in the plywood. And again, going back to that, it's how I made all of these. Okay, so again, if you go to Stephen Ogle's link, there's two links. One link is to make this. One link is to make the Dremel. You'll need the Dremel to make this. Yeah, that's the Dremel that he's showing you how to make it there, how to use it.
And that's the longer. So that's the two videos. You can go along. The links are down below in the description to both those videos. He's a really nice guy, Steve, and he makes all kinds of jigs and stuff. He's really interesting. He's a real advocate for not buying anything, making his own stuff. It's really cool. Yeah.
So you can make it, size it to your lathe, obviously. So if you've got a 12-inch swing, make it sized for the lathe. Don't make it too big. Now I've got an 18-inch swing, so I can make a bigger one. So I'll be making one for this. No, I'm not trying to be fancy. Some people out there have got 24 inches.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is just make it to the size of your swing. So
Richard Phelan says that John Clothier made one as well. So yeah, there's a good few people made them. I just never really got into. I tell you why I never made one is because when I bought my chuck. Well, not that, not even that. When I bought my chuck, I got the coal jaws with it, a set of coal jaws with the chuck as a package deal. So I always just use the coal jaws. They're not as handy because you have to change them over and stuff like that. But you know, they do whatever I need whenever I do a bowl. So
how big are your coal jaws?
They're what the ones I've got. I think they're 12-inch. I think they could be 14. They just about went over the swing of my big lathe anyway. So yeah.
Nice. Well, Easy Wood, I have the Easy Wood chuck, and they have a set of coal jaws as well. I don't have it. There's a 14-inch and a 16-inch, and I think there's an extension piece that brings it up to 18 or 24. I'm not sure, but that's on my wish list, but I haven't got them yet. But yeah, it's down the road at some point. Honestly, what I tend to use more than anything is a piece of board with rubber matting on it, and that's on a faceplate, and I use tailstock pressure on the back of the bolt. I always make a center hole or a center mark on the tenon. You can see the center mark, so the tailstock goes into that center mark, and then it centers the bolt perfectly on the rubber matting on that board, that round board, and you can just turn it away. But yeah, coal jaws and the Longsworth are better for sure. They got a better grip on the bolt.
Yeah, so it's just a friction plate. Yeah. I do want to go just talk about routers. What I do want to do eventually is I've seen a lot of guys using the the small palm routers and putting them into a jig on the side of their lathe and using them for doing different designs on pieces. So I do want to kind of master that someday, of putting the little button palm router and putting a jig in the side and actually working it on the lathe. You know, using the indexing system and putting different shapes and stuff into pieces.
So you'd have something on the bedways,
exactly,
right?
Yeah,
That holds a router and it can swing around. That's on my list too, as well, at some point, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's and the indexing system. You need that. You can actually make an indexing system too. I've seen some guys make their own indexing system for a lathe that doesn't have one.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Yuval Lahav done a really cool indexing system he may design. Fluting jig. William Hunt has a few videos on that, I think. Yeah, fluting jig. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's called. I can't remember what it was called. Thanks, Leona. Yeah. So
and every little thing like that you do to a piece that you're making, you're adding interest and value to that piece. A lot of the pieces that I make, in my mind, are relatively samey. You look at every single piece that I've got here, these are all for the demonstration. There's nothing fancy, nothing special about them. But if you start doing fluting and piercing and things like that, burning, pyro, blah, 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 then it just adds interest, feature, and value to that piece. So
yeah, while I was burning that piece last night, I thought maybe next week we'll cover embellishing and design. I think we'll maybe do quite a lengthy discussion about that, because there's so many products and so many different things that you can do to pieces. I think it'd be an interesting topic, so we might cover that next week.
Piercing, especially when I first wanted to try piercing, there's so many products out there that may or may not work. So what's the best thing to pierce, right? And how thick a wall should you have for piercing? What woods are easier to pierce than others, right? Some probably aren't very easy to pierce. Like oak, for example, might not be a good choice.
Just looking at Midnight Joker's comment there. Very easy to make an indexing system using an angle box like you use to set a table saw blade angle. That's interesting. Yeah. And William uses the Paul Howard system, fluting jig. Yeah, there's so many different products and stuff out there, but I just think handmade, you know, if it breaks, you're not too upset. Do you know?
No. It's important though to get them so that they're not moving, and otherwise you could lose the precision that you would get from a store-bought piece, right? If you buy a store-bought jig, you should expect precision.
Yeah, I mean, I made myself a sphere turning jig, and it worked really well. But after probably the 10th sphere that I turned with it, it was starting to move. It was starting to get a little bit of movement in it. You know, I just made it to try it to see it was in a book. I made it out of rough bits of ply that I had. I could make another one, and it would last a lot longer. But now that I've kind of honed in my skills, I can really mess up a sphere properly now. So I don't need the jig to mess it up.
We saw that a week or two ago.
Yeah, I know, but at least, job. You know, at least I'm willing to mess it up.
Look, Steve can make spheres. He made that one.
Yeah.
When he was here.
Balls.
Steve's ball.
Now, I don't have much news, but we'll just cover what I do have. It's not a whole lot of news, but we'll do this anyway. I did want to shout this man out because it's sad news, but it's news all the same, and I think he's worth mentioning.
Tom, Captain Tom.
Yeah, Tom Moore was an absolute legend. During the first lockdown in the UK and Ireland, this man walked, I forget how many miles, but he just walked up and down.
It was 100 laps of the courtyard of where he was living.
Yeah, he was
and it was a lot of walking. Yeah.
Yeah, he was 100
He was 99 at the time.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, we just lost Captain Tom Moore. He passed away. He was 100, as I said, and I'll read it here. Captain Sir Thomas Moore, popularly known as Captain Tom, was a British Army officer and a businessman known for raising money for charity in the run-up to his 100th birthday during COVID-19 pandemic. And I didn't know him personally, but I got to know him through the media, and he did a huge thing to, it wasn't even about the money that he raised, and that it was just the fact that everyone was tuning in, and he was a morale booster. He really kind of gave people hope and stuff through the pandemic. So he'll be missed. Rest in peace, Captain Tom. You'll be missed. It's a sad story, yeah, but he's going to go off and do.
It was also an amazing story. Do you know how much money he raised for the National Health Service? I think it was
millions. I know that. Yeah.
It was 33 million pounds, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so absolute legend.
That was pretty amazing.
And I mean, apart from all that, he served for his country too. He got through wars, and and then went on to do a lot of other stuff. So he was a very successful businessman as well. So
for his 100th birthday, the British Royal Air Force, they did a flyover of 2 Second World War planes. I'm not sure what planes they were. Spitfires, maybe. I'm not sure.
That's right. Yeah.
But they did a flyover. And they did the wing wave as they passed him. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he'll have some send off too. Well, not as good a send off as he should get, but
39 million, Brian is saying. That's cool.
We
Brian.
salute you, Captain Tom.
Yes. So maybe they're still raising money as we speak.
Oh, I'd say that will be a charity that will be formed now. It'll probably be the Captain Tom charity that will be started up now, because it's not going to be the last we hear of him anyway.
No, I don't think so.
He's left a huge story behind him. The other thing, I wanted to just mention that I don't know how many of you follow the Daniel collection. Do you know of the Daniel collection, Rob, at all? No? I
do not.
Okay, so they're a couple, and they are collectors of wood-turned art pieces, and they actually buy pieces off of some of the most well-known and famous wood turners around the world, not just locally. They're from England. I actually met them at OGLES, and they've got a huge collection of art. In fact, on their website, all the information will be in the description below. They've got so many pieces at the moment. They're still cataloging it, but they buy the pieces and they have them on show, and then you can ring them. I mean, obviously after the pandemic and all that is over, you can ring them, and they actually you can actually go along and you can look at all the pieces. But if you go and search for the Daniel collection, there's about 3,500 people following them on Facebook. Go to the Daniel collection on Facebook. Literally, if you just type in the Daniel collection, it will come up. Go and follow them. I get an awful lot.
Brian says they haven't bought any of his yet.
Oh yeah, no.
Brian, I'm sure they'll be after you soon.
They bought a piece off of one of the Irish turners that was demonstrating at OGLES, but I go on their page because they have such an array of amazing wood turn pieces that it's just an inspirational page. If you go on it, you'll see some of the stuff. If you're new to wood turning, or you're reasonably new to wood turning, and you're wondering what's possible with the machine that you've got in front of you, go and look on that page and then on their website, and you will be absolutely blown away with some of the stuff that you can produce on your lathe once you've mastered your art. It's unbelievable. There is some unbelievable pieces and some amazing artists out there. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. The Daniel collection, they've got a web page. All their information is on their Facebook page. Their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're all over, and they do go to shows and around the world as well, and they buy stuff. So if you've got a piece that you think is collectible, give them a ring and sell it. So that's that. Now our own friend,
got mushroom.
Mush. Yeah, we could eat that.
I got a mushroom.
Happy. Not much room there. That was out a piece of your late daddy's wood, was it?
That was Dad. I've still got bits of Dad's wood, and I now and again I'll throw a bit on the lathe and turn it into something.
I've got a piece of your daddy's wood in my workshop as well that I've still got to turn into something. Yeah, took it out of your. Well, you gave it to me out of his old workshop.
Yeah.
Butterscotch, is it? I think.
Butterscotch.
No, not butterscotch. Butternut. Yeah, butternut. I'd never heard of it until. I'd never heard of it until
it's in the walnut family.
Right. I'd never heard of it until you gave it to me. So it's very cool. It's there. Right. Yeah. Our very own Daniel Dubois of Turnage Dubois is running a monthly collaboration, as we called it. It's called the YTCCC 2021, which is the YouTube cross country collaboration. I believe that is what it stands for, 2021. They've just finished January's, which was fire themed, where they had all of these folk. I believe these are all the ones that were involved with the fire. I won't list them all off, but they all are there. You can have a quick look there yourself. Loads and loads of makers from across the world joined in. Well, they've just finished that, and then Quentin from this channel, Deadwood, is it Deadwood Casting and Turning. He did his piece. All the links to their videos and stuff will be below down in the description. If they're not there now, I will be adding them a bit later on, so just keep your eye on them. He has just announced February's, which is flowers. So you can go along, you can get in touch with Daniel. He's on Facebook. He's actually there in the chat at the moment as well. Double D, as he likes to be called. And everyone's welcome. Get in touch with him. He's got a lot of people that are getting involved. It's a great collaboration. Fair play to you, Daniel. I will be taking part in the flower one. I'll just let you know that I will do the flower one. Everyone just make a flower. Because it's February, it's all about love and Valentine's and all that. So yeah, if you want to take part, make a flower or a bouquet of flowers. Tell Double D, give him the link to your video, stick it on the YouTubes, and away you go. Yeah, flowers are fun.
I did my very first entry of anything, I think, in January, which was the clock. I don't generally follow with that kind of stuff when people are saying everyone's making this, everyone's making that. I don't do any of that. I don't generally make snowmans at Christmas. I don't generally make things for Easter. Snowmans or bunnies or Easter, or I don't do that. I just turn what I want to turn, I guess.
I've done a few flowers. I've done a couple of lives turning flowers as well. My favorite ones of turning is where you get the skew and you just peel back all the layers and layers of wood and you just produce like a sunflower. It's kind of cool.
I've seen Christmas trees. I've seen guys do Christmas trees like that as well.
Yeah. Leona asked, do you have to make a video? I'm not sure. I'm sure Daniel will answer there. You don't have to be a wood turner. Oh yeah. Well, I like to know, so I have. Yeah. He wants to know people are taking part so that he can shout them out, basically. I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, you don't even have to be a wood turner to take part. It's make it out of any medium, out of any products, anything. You can draw it, as far as I know, as long as it is flower themed. You can take part in the collaboration, as far as I know. But get in touch with Daniel anyway. If you can't get in touch with Daniel, get in touch with me, and I will put you in touch with Daniel because he is one of the bananas in the banana club. So he is there. So that's all the news really I've got this week, unfortunately. Sorry and stuff. So we'll leave the news there. Next, I suppose we might as well just do this while we're at it.
Make me small, Steve.
Fascinating.
There you go.
The fascinating facts this week. Got a few random ones. We'll start with everybody uses these nowadays. Rob doesn't. He doesn't understand them.
No, I don't get it.
Yeah, Rob doesn't. Yeah, Rob doesn't do hashtags. I don't know why I'm. I don't know why I'm not.
I use words.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not. Why I'm not on top of it, but it doesn't matter. The hashtag symbol is technically called an octothorpe. Did you know that? An octothorpe. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the octo prefix refers to the 8 points on the popular symbol, but the thorpe remains a mystery. One theory claims that it comes from the English word of village, based on the idea that the symbol looks like a village surrounded by 8 fields. So there you go. So rather than saying hashtag Rob Summerlin, we could say Octothorpe Rob Summerlin. That'd be way cool, wouldn't it? An octothorpe. A wood frog. Did you know the wood frog can hold its pee for up to 8 months?
Unless you pick them up.
Yeah, probably. Wood frogs in Alaska have been known to hold their urine for up to 8 months, sticking it out through the region's long winters before relieving themselves once temperatures increase. The urine actually helps keep the animal alive while it hibernates, with special microbes in their gut that recycle the urine's main waste, into nitrogen. Imagine that if you accidentally stood on one of them, what a mess that would make. Woo! Yeah, the wood frog. There you go. Don't be picking one of those up because you get pissed on. Okay? Nostrils. Did you know your nostrils work one at a time? Now, I was actually fascinated about this because it explained a lot when I blow my nose after wood turning, right? Why you only get one clogged nostril, right?
Use one of these and you'll be fine.
When we breathe in and out of our nose during the day, one nostril does most of the work at a time, with the duties switched every several hours. This nasal cycle is dictated by the same autonomic nervous system that regulates heart rate, digestion, and the other unconscious bodily functions, and is the reason why when our nose gets stuffed up, it does so one nostril at a time. That to me is bloody amazing.
It's always my left nostril.
We didn't even know that our nostrils breathe differently. They're not in unison. They're like, feck off. No, I'm working today. No, I am. No, I am fighting. There you go. Fascinating fact that, you know. Aspen trees, Rob. What do you know about aspen trees?
They're in Aspen.
The largest known living organism is an aspen grove. And that's organism, just in case anyone's wondering, I said. Okay. Pando, Latin for I spread out. Again, we're talking about an organism, is a group of genetically identical quaking aspens in Utah with an interconnecting root system. It's an estimated 80,000 years old and takes up more than 100
leaving.
acres. Is he? All right. Bye, Daniel.
On that note, and Leona's a mouth breather.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, I might be behind in the chat. I don't know. It's what's coming up on my screen.
No, you're not behind on the chat. That's the only chat we're working from.
Okay.
See you, Daniel. Thanks very much for joining, and I'll pass on any information that I get from people joining in. So, and now this is one for Hodge, but I don't think Hodge is in today, is he? I don't think Hodge is there.
I haven't seen him.
But anybody that sees Hodge first after hearing this story, this is especially for Harry. Okay. Beaver bum goo. Beaver bum goo is occasionally used to enhance vanilla flavorings. Did you know that? So the next time you eat something that flaunts the rich flavor of vanilla, you might want to be aware of, or do your best to ignore, the fact that castoreum, a goo that beavers excrete to mark their territory, is sometimes used to enhance the flavor of vanilla in food, according to National Geographic. The goo.
So what I want to know,
what
I want to know is who's the first person that thought, let's get that goo off that beaver's bum and put it in vanilla flavoring. I think it might just do the trick.
Exactly.
It might just make it. Yeah, let's do that.
That goo on that beaver's bum looks really tasty. It is. Generally regarded as a safe additive by the US Food and Drug Administration, but you'll probably never come across it in real life because it's difficult and expensive to collect.
So Leona's never eaten Skittles again or anything flavored vanilla, she says. You've ruined it. Stop ruining food, Steve.
And that is this week's interesting facts, folks. So next time you see Hodge bending down and licking Harry's bum, you will now know why he's doing it. Okay, there you go. And there's one. Just remember that next time you're in one of Hodge's lives, just to let him know. Ask him to sniff Harry's bum or something. That would be nice. So yes, we're getting close to the. We've got 15 minutes left.
I need a mascot. I was watching Emma the other night, and she's got a mascot. It's a dragon. Have you seen that?
She has. Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. She carved a dragon. She said it took her 6 years to carve. She gave it a name. Is it Errol? I can't recall. I can't remember now. But it was really cool. She was making a one of those. What's it called, Steve? You know what they're called, with the fluff on their face and the little hat, like a gnome almost. Anyway, she was making one of them.
Wizard.
So I want to make one of them too now. Hey,
an elf, no. A wizard.
She called it something. I can't remember. I was distracted.
A gonk. It was a gonk, Rob.
A gonk. That's it. Yeah. It was a
gonk. There you go. I missed it. I didn't see it, so I'm not in that.
It was good.
I'm not in that club.
You should. Yeah, you should watch.
Yeah. Right. Moving on. We've only got, like I said, unfortunately, what you got, Robbie, is not going to happen. Is not going to happen this week. I just didn't get time, unfortunately, but we will get Robbie back for next week. So I just didn't have time. So have we got something to look back on, Rob?
To look back on?
Well, we're going to do it anyway.
Is that a new one?
No, it's always been there. It's just you've never paid attention.
No. What do you want to look back on, Steve?
What should we look back on today? I've not really thought about it, but let's do a story.
There's always the road trip. Which one?
I think that road trip.
I've got a good one. When we were going to, I think it was Margate, we were going to get on the motorway and head south to Margate, and then we ended up we went to Brighton. We went to Brighton and then headed to Margate, which is west a bit. Yeah, west a bit.
The other way, anyway.
So anyway, we got on the road and we're driving. Well, Steve was driving, I think, and we listened to music and just generally joking and having a good time. And all of a sudden, we realised we were headed north. Completely the wrong direction. And I think we've been traveling for like half an hour in the wrong direction.
But that wasn't an uncommon. Wasn't an uncommon occurrence with us going in the wrong direction. Do you remember when we went to Blue Pool? When we went to Pool, and Oh
yes, we went to Lulworth Cove.
Lulworth Cove,
It's
and all
a
around
place.
there. Yeah.
So my granddad. I've got a picture of him here. Hang on, I'm going to show you this because I found it today and I thought, damn, he looks like me.
Well,
where is it?
I'll tell the part that I was going to say. Do you remember we were? Oh, that does look like you.
That's my granddad.
I mean, he's good looking though.
Yeah. He's got from here down anyway. But
do you remember we were driving down the motorway and we saw?
That was coming home. That was coming home.
Do you remember the headlights coming towards us on our side of the road? And I was like,
yeah,
that's not right. There shouldn't be headlights.
You were behind a truck, a semi truck, and you were about to overtake the semi truck, but you didn't for some reason. And then all of a sudden, we saw a car coming this way on the wrong side of the motorway, and I said, "Shit! Call the cops! Call 911!" And you said, "Rob, it's 999." Because in Canada, it's 911.
If I called 911, I'd get some woman called Deborah going, "Hi, hot stuff." Not that I know.
Over here, 911.
So road trips. We slept in the car for most of that trip, I believe.
Which one was that? Yes, we slept in
Margate one.
Was it the Margate one? Kathy the Cavalier.
Kathy the Cavalier. Mark II Cavalier, was it?
I got a picture. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, we'll see a picture of Rob's Cavalier. Say yes, everybody. Say yes. Yeah, say yes. Kathy the Cavalier. The copper Cavalier.
Oh,
there she is. Look at the face on that.
Kathy the Cavalier.
Was it Mark II? It was Mark II, wasn't it? Vauxhall Cavalier.
I can't. Mark 1 or 2, I forget. I can't remember what mark it was. It was a V-Reg. I still have the number plates over there.
Yeah.
Great car that was. I really liked it. Simple.
Lona said, thank God it was a different road trip story. Oh, we will be doing that road trip story eventually, Leona, but that's a long one. That's going to be a whole show type. Yeah, that's going to be a whole show story, I think, that one. But we've already discussed it really, and yeah, it is a long one.
I'm not sure. We started discussing it when we first did this. When we first did the Rob and Steve thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but it was a bit.
Yeah, I think the technology's improved a bit since.
Well, my internet's improved basically because back in the day when I was doing that, I would quite regularly smash things with hammers after each live show because it was so bad.
It's not like you're broadcasting out of a caravan or anything, is it?
No, who'd do that?
I remember you setting fire to your router.
I did.
I had video footage, I think, at one point. It was quite violent.
I smashed it. I set fire to it. I stomped on it and threw it across the garden, I think, in the end, and then thought, shit, I've got no internet now.
Yeah, you have done some crazy things, Steve.
My temper.
Cell phone.
Yeah, my temper years ago, not like many years ago when I was younger, used to be really bad. When I was an apprentice, say if I hit my thumb with a hammer or something, I wouldn't just go like I would now. Like you go, I would actually throw the hammer across the field and never see it again.
Eva wants to know what color my car was. It's copper tone.
Yeah, it was copper tone.
It was copper tone.
Which was weird because my favorite color car is a copper tone, and my dad's car was a copper tone, and Rob bought a car that was then copper tone. Just weird. Like having our kids on the same day, and like having just
Lisa was
everything.
born August 16th, which was the day that Elvis died.
Yeah,
both being big Elvis fans.
Yeah.
And then my first son, Brandon, he was born on August the 16th, same thing. And my first, and it's weird.
Oh,
it's pink, Rob.
What about the eagle story? We need to tell that story.
The what story?
I just remember someone breaking their leg and us going for a wee night, a night jaunt out into the night after we'd had a couple of beers.
And the 6-inch golden nail.
We didn't ever do anything small in scale, did we?
That was not good. That was pretty bad.
We always
I don't know if I want to
elaborate stuff, didn't we? We couldn't just do something. Well, he was an arsehole, Rob. Now, in fairness, he was an arsehole.
He was an arsehole. He was an arsehole. He deserved what he got.
Didn't know any different, and we got our.
He broke my leg. Anyway, that's another story for another day, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave that.
We're running out of time.
Yeah, Rob's leg got broken.
Rob's broken leg.
We got vengeance. We'll tell you
with an eagle and a 6-inch golden nail.
It's pink, Rob.
Are you You're colorblind.
No, you're colorblind.
It does look pink. It does look pink.
No, it's copper tone. The bumper's not straight. I never noticed that before.
No, it wasn't straight, was it? It was. I wonder why that is. I know at one point
body kit on the front.
Yeah, it was. I actually drove into one of those light posts, the square light posts. What are they? I don't know what they're called. Returning a movie to the movie store back in the day when you rented movies.
Was it Blockbusters?
It was turning. It might have been. Yeah, it was. It was down by. I can't remember the name of the place. My brain.
Yeah, it was Blockbusters, or it was Extravision or Blockbusters.
Yeah. By Fine Fair. Anyway, so I'm turning, and I was turning my wheels, but the car was still going in that direction, and I went straight into one of those light posts, and it. Anyway, that smashed the front end.
But speed generally causes that.
I did get it fixed. I wasn't going very fast, but I got it fixed. Loved that car, I did. I'd like to get one of them too, but I'm not gonna.
Right there.
It was kind of clunky. It was a clunky gear stick. Yeah.
Steve Coombs said the closer you hold the photo, the more pink it looks. Well, do you know why this is? Do you know why this is all funny? Because you could actually tell Rob that car was blue, and he'd say, "All right," because he is actually legit colorblind.
Grey and not grey. And
Rob actually got colorblindness sunglasses. Last time I was over with him, he got colorblind sunglasses. The ones. Yeah. And when someone that isn't colorblind puts them on, you get to see what that person is seeing as being colorblind. No, I don't think so. Yeah,
I think when you put them on, everything goes red.
No, no. Everything that should have been green, I think it was, goes brown, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
And all the other colours were right. It was very strange feeling, anyway.
When I first put them on, because my sister-in-law was here too, she said, before I got them, she says, "Look at those flowers, how vivid they are." I said, "No, they're just kind of a dull reddish colour." She says, No, they're not. She says, "No, they're not." You like my blue T-shirt? Carol, you're being cruel to me. Come on.
The one that you're wearing tonight. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. So I put these glasses on when I got them, and I looked at these flowers. I kind of had them here, and it's like, I put them on, and it's like, boom, crazy. Red cars are the most exciting things on the planet. They really are. And every single store, like McDonald's or the colors that they use on their signage, it makes sense. You want to be seen, right?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, all those dull colors all these years are really, really bright. It's crazy.
This is what Mike Yu thinks to everything this evening.
What's that?
Bollards.
Yes,
That's what they were called.
It was a bollard. It was one of those white bollards with the yellow or orange signs on it. Again,
And
I wouldn't know. But
what is achroma? Is that color blindness?
yeah,
Enchroma.
no, that's the make of the glasses that you can get.
Oh, okay.
They make them for indoors and outdoors. I bought the ones for outdoors because I want to see the floral colors, and I want to see stuff outside better than inside.
This is a very interesting comment from Rubber Dub, because didn't you have to kind of translate everything to do with electrics? Rob's actually an electrician, and you had to kind of learn your own colors, didn't you?
I've been an electrician for 32 years, so nobody knew until today. Thanks, Steve.
But how did you get over that with the colors of cables and stuff like that? Because you did fiber optics too, didn't you?
Well, yeah, fiber optics, but communication cabling is the hardest when you're getting into internet, Ethernet, and telephone and things like that. I did a communication cabling course which involved like 24 pair, and those colors that they use, they list what the colors are, and they'll be slate and gray. Well, that's the same, but it's not. Then there'll be blue and purple, which are the same, but they're not. Yellow and orange, which are the same, but they're not. Red and brown, which are the same, but they're not. Just you get the picture, right? But I'll tell you what, red and brown's darker, a little bit darker. Red, orange and yellow, orange is a little bit darker. Purple and blue's a little bit darker. It's just shades of color, I guess.
Mad. Yeah. Did you ever make any stupid mistakes because of your color blindness?
Yeah, probably a couple of small ones.
We're not getting to that because, believe it or not, it is
that's the time.
Almost 11 o'clock at night, and that is an hour and a half gone like that. Poof, disappeared. So that's it, folks. Thank you very much for joining us again on a Wednesday evening. We will be back again next Wednesday, hopefully. And we've already got our topic. I think we'll do everything to do with embellishing and colour and changing what would be a bland piece into something a little bit more artsy-fartsy. And we'll do that next week. And you can get to thinking about your wood. Don't forget, Rob, Wednesday is the day after Tuesday and the day before Thursday. You did very well this week on reminding me yesterday that it was actually Wednesday.
Yeah, I did, because day ahead, I was ready. I had to think. It's like, oh shit, is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday. I'm like, okay, good, I've got time. But I'm preparing for Thursday as well, because is Thursday the 11th?
Next Thursday.
No, it can't be. Next Thursday. Next Thursday is 11th. That's when I've got the wood show. Again, you're going to put a link in the description below. You're going to put a link in the description below.
Absolutely.
If you want, if it interests you, if you want to go to the wood show at 7:45 p.m. Canadian time, Eastern Standard Time, 7:45, I'll be doing a live demo. Finishing, coloring, texturing, embellishing, burning, stuff like that. That's my demo for the wood show.
Well, that's good, because you'll have everything set up for the Thursday on the Wednesday. So it might be handy for the show next week. You can show the stuff that you use. Obviously, you won't be using your demo pieces, but you'll be able to show the stuff and all that. So
yeah, I'm actually close to being ready now. So I'm actually
cool.
A week ahead of myself. So that's good.
Are you feeling all right?
So I'm fine. Why? I've got to make a thing for the camera. What's it called, Steve? A stand thing.
A gimbal.
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi.
A gimbal.
You might want to check the connection settings in the Google Home app.
Shh. It's the other woman I have in the bedroom. Shh.
Oh, she sounds cute. I see.
Right.
She sounds very English as well.
She's very clever. She has a lot of answers to things.
My camera right now is actually bolted to the top of the lamp. I kid you not. Well, it's not plugged in. If I plug the lamp in, my thought was this. Illuminating, isn't it?
It's lovely, yeah. It's made that blue t-shirt go more green now.
Yeah.
Right, let's call it a night, Rob.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody,
All right.
and good night.
Good night from him.
And it's good
From
night
me.
from
Who?
me. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks very
It's good
much.
night from both of us.
Have a good week, and we shall see you again next Wednesday. I am live tomorrow evening. Don't forget, 9:30 Thursday. So I'll be live tomorrow evening, and no idea what I'm turning. I'll probably turn something similar to what I was playing with today, some sort of arty piece. But that's it, guys. We shall see you again next Wednesday. Until then,
I hope you got something out of this.
bye. Yeah, they got something. They got a whole load of.
See you later.
Rob and
Cheers.
Steve. Bye.
Rob and Steve.